The head of the United Nations wants the fossil fuel industry to be banned from advertising, just like the tobacco industry. He argued that burning oil and gas is what drives climate change, which threatens the health and safety of people everywhere, all while the fossil fuel industry makes billions.
Many in the fossil fuel industry have shamelessly greenwashed, even as they have sought to delay climate action with lobbying, legal threats, and massive ad campaigns. And they have been aided and abetted by advertising and PR companies.
Now, two new studies are out that look at this role of sports washing, which is fossil fuel advertising and sports sponsorship around the world. And we have national environmental correspondent David Schechter here to talk about it with us. So, David, first off, sports washing as a concept, explain it for us. Why do we use that term? What does it mean?
Hey, Lana. So, in a world where we're inundated with information and devices that are always stealing our attention, sport is one of the few things that can still unite us. Maybe you can't talk to your neighbors or your Uncle Al about politics, but most of us can still talk about football. So sports washing is this idea that oil and gas companies can take advantage of this halo of unity and goodwill that surround your favorite teams. That looks like commercials and in-stadium ads that cast these companies in a favorable light, even though their products are heating up the planet.
Well, one of these new studies is from the New Weather Institute, a UK think tank, and it's I thought it was staggering how much is being spent. It found major oil and gas companies are spending at least $5.6 billion on the sponsorship of global sport across 205 active deals. Which sports, which companies are we really talking about?
Yeah, you're right. It's a ton of money. And globally, the study found the high-profile sports with the most deals are soccer, motorsports, rugby, and golf. The biggest sponsor is the Saudi oil company Aramco. It is the world's most profitable company, and it spends $1.3 billion on sports sponsorships like Formula One racing. Shell also spends $470 million. Total Energy from France spends $340 million.
And another 2024 survey from UCLA, David, found that sponsorship deals across 6 major league sports deals have 61 deals with sponsors that can be considered high-polluting companies. Talk to us about who the big players are, but also I really think that the comparison that the Secretary General made to tobacco industry was really interesting, because here in this country, we don't allow the tobacco industry to advertise in this way anymore, though we did previously. So talk to us about some of those similarities.
Yeah, well, there are no regulations on advertising oil and gas companies. And so if you're watching these games, you might see naming rights on stadiums. You might see patches on players, their sleeves and their jerseys and their helmets. The oil company funding the most sponsorships in the U.S. is Chevron, with 9 deals across baseball, basketball, football, and soccer. The teams include, in baseball, the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants. In basketball, the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans. In the NFL, the Denver Broncos and the New Orleans Saints. Big picture, the NBA has 14 oil, gas, or utility sponsorships. The NFL has 13. Major League Baseball has 13, 10 in the NHL, and 9 in Major League Soccer. These are the kinds of things, if they were a tobacco company, like you mentioned, like the Secretary General mentioned, they could not do this kind of advertising.
Well, I imagine that there's some people who feel like people are going to advertise sports. If they want to take the money, let's go ahead and let them. I can't imagine that people are actually too concerned when we're talking about these particular organizations that they can't survive financially without sports washing dollars. But I imagine, are there any of these major organizations that would say, that's all right, no thanks, we're all right not taking your money? Are there anybody who are sort of standing on principle on that?
Absolutely. I mean, researchers also say that it is possible to run a sports team without taking this kind of money. There are successful, profitable sports franchises that do not have ties to polluting industries. And, while we talked about 61 sponsorships, and that is significant, and that does change public perception of these companies, it is a very small percentage of the thousands of sponsorship deals in the U.S.
All right, David Schechter, thank you.